Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Chris here. Happy June. It's the 1st, and we are at the London close time frame here. So, thanks for joining me. We will cover kind of what happened overnight. Usually, that Sunday, Monday beginning of the week is a little light, but there's plenty with the U.S. with the protests. So, we'll cover that. Uh, but heat map right now, just wanted to kind of show you guys right now. The Swiss franc's being sold off pretty substantially. Aussie's been bought up big time right now. US is down. You can see across the board. So the US is being sold off except for against the Swiss franc. Believe it or not, the euro's mixed, which was interesting to me. Pound's being bought up a little bit. Canadian dollar being bought up. So uh, commodity currencies are being allocated. So that's it's interesting because I think that'll actually reverse. Um, especially the Australian dollar, I think it's a little overextended right now, considering the economic outlook out there and the issues that we have with U.S. and China. So expect this to drop. I mean, this gain against the euro, 1.41%. That's huge. The yen, I think this will reverse. So actually, I'm going to be looking for an Aussie yen. That's an interesting. I haven't looked at a chart yet, but I think that'll be what we look at right off the bat. I wanted to see if there's a level there, but we shall see. So anyway, once again, dollar kind of slipped on the Trump's Hong Kong response, and then gained a little bit as China slowed some of their agricultural imports. So that's something to watch out for. That was kind of a big headline, is that China did slow down on their soybean purchase, and that's part of the phase one trade deal. So Trump cannot be happy about that. Canadian dollar is crushing it, lifted by risk optimism abroad. U.S. is kind of down right now, but everywhere else. Euro just underperformed, so I think the euro is kind of being dragged down a little bit with the dollar. The pound is up despite unpromising trade talks. Yen, like I said, was picked up across the board, but especially against the U.S. But everywhere else, it seemed like it was mixed. Aussie, the yen got crushed. So, Australian dollar is really doing well, highest since mid-February. So that's something to watch out for here. It's there's really contrasting emotions here. China had slightly weaker manufacturing, and then slightly stronger cakes and manufacturing at 50.7. So I think that's what kind of prompted the Australian dollar to improve. Markets today, right now, the Dow is up. Nasdaq, S&P all up, but Nasdaq, S&P's up slightly, Dow's up slightly. The VIX is up, so that means volatility's up. So there's a real battle going on right now, and that's at the London close. It could go either direction there, right? So you don't really see runaway, runaway strength here. You don't see runaway weakness, though. I think the economies reopening are going to bode well. But the interesting thing is, I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, and we're not even halfway done with this thing. The economies reopen, but like we look at the protests here in the U.S. Those people right now are getting unemployment. What happens when that stops? And what happens when there's no jobs? Because the economy is going to contract substantially. I don't care what Trump says. You can't, companies are going bankrupt. I'll talk for here in Hawaii. They're estimating that tourism will not get back to pre-coronavirus levels for 5 years. And when you think about that, that's one of the largest producers of our economy here, locally. Those jobs are going away. Well, what do those people do? They have to move. right? But when you look at this from a country standpoint, what are these people going to do when they don't have money? I mean, it's going to get rough. So I think this optimism right now with the markets and this, the Dow is at 25,406. I think it's unsubstantiated. I think there's going to be another drop. I don't think our economy can maintain this, despite what they're doing to pump unlimited spending in here, which, by the way, reform or more of a totalitarian response on these protests. That's gonna cost money, and that's gonna further put the U.S. in the hole. So, something to watch out for, something to think about. Right. Anyway, let's take a look at what we did on Friday. So we had one trade. We had an Aussie yen short, and we got out really before this thing jumped up. So it was right at our profit target here. So we got in on this little scalp here Friday, right at this level, and I got out right here as it spiked, because to me this was close enough to the big volume, and you can see right after this it just shot up to the moon here. So that was a good trade for us. So for overall for the week, it was a little bit better than break even. So we still made a little bit of profit, and that's the only trade we really had going on for Friday. So I want to look at the Aussie yen. Like I said, I think this is in route for a correction here, but I wanna make sure there's a level, because currencies don't just flip around. There's usually a previous level that caused this, and that's what the big players trade off of, right? Oh man, let's see if I can. I don't know why this is not allowing me to look down. I'm having some trouble here with my charting software. There we go. I had the seconds on there. Okay, so you can see there's a level of volume right here on the daily that I think will make this thing flip, especially since this is the first touch. It's not going to just blow past it, because there's a lot of volume here that was built into this move down here. You can see the volume built up on this flip up, but on the way down, where's the volume here? You can see it's right here at 73.50 is where most of it is, and it starts building up at 173.29. So it's interesting that it's starting to flip here already before it even hits that level. If you kind of go further back here to look at this, you can see the volume starts really building up though here. So I would say this is kind of a good, won't go past this level target, but it's pretty high. Not really good for our trading here, but you can see here there's a nice little volume cluster of about 180 pips that there was consolidation before the move down. So it's starting to get to that level here. When I look at the auto chartist, I'm going to look to see if there's a level that the sucker has hit that's worth us trading here. And it's interesting, I can look on the Aussie yen or the Aussie US, because, I think there's correlation there. There's a flip on the Aussie US at 167.80. but I don't really see a level for the yen here. So I'm going to be kind of hesitant to take this trade. I don't know if there's a room for a move here. Canadian dollars just crushing it here. They're at what, 150, 150 at the Euro CAD. I'd be interested in flipping either the CAD, the Aussie, or the Kiwi because I think they're overextended right now. I mean, the risk on play is going to turn around eventually here. I mean, the fundamentals just line up that way. So I'd be wary on taking along with the U.S. though, because I think the U.S. is particularly weak right now too. Pound, Kiwi could be a nice little move too, but it's a little high off of a level for us. So I'm just browsing through to see if I see any moves that are worth trading right now. So there's a level at 184 on a pound Aussie that could be good. Look at that. And you can see it's right at that level. I think this could be a nice little move here because once again, I think the Aussie's a little overextended here. So on the 30-minute chart, it dropped below it. What I'd like to see in this 30 minutes here or the next hour is if it closes above it, we could see a nice little move up to maybe these highs, or even up to another leg up to here where this volume is building up. So maybe the 185 level. So we're looking at maybe 100 pips. Right now, if we were to take it, it would be a 20 pip stop. Two things will either happen here, and we'll watch this trade because actually this is a potential nice move here. It either drops below here and then spikes back up, which if it does that, we'll get in because that means it just took out stops here. If it closes above this, then that's more of a signal for us to continue moving as well because that means that this level's holding. So I'd be interested to take either if it shows that, but right now it's kind of at the level, and you can see this wick right here, which doesn't really leave me that convinced of the strength of the move. And this is price action stuff that you can learn from any of the courses I know that Nick teaches or that we have online. Just basic price action reading here. It tells you the story. It doesn't necessarily tell you what's going to happen, but when you look at support and resistance levels, and for me, once again, this time frame, this is usually the time where there's some type of reaction. So you're looking to see if the bars really tell that same story and give you that high probability. So we will keep an eye on this pound Australian dollar move. That's a possibility. I don't see anything else yet, but I'm gonna look because today could be a nice little remove here. Yeah, guys, literally what I'm doing right now is just browsing through currencies right now that are at support and resistance levels that would match my criteria of my fundamental analysis, because that gives me that probability. So that's why I like the auto charters thing, because I don't have to look at all the charts manually and look at pivots and look at the days down to the 1 minute and 1 hour charts. This thing does it all for me. But once again, you can do it however you want. You don't necessarily need this. It just makes it much faster for me. My goal, obviously, in trading is to trade to live, not live to trade. So I don't want to be looking at charts and monitoring all day long. But hey, to each their own. That's what I'll say. Don't see anything quite yet. Kiwi CAD, that's a no. Aussie CAD, nah. Euro yen might be interesting, but that's consolidating. There's no real level there. Euro US. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, I think the CAD's going to be dragged down by the U.S. too. So, I mean, the Canadian economy is partially susceptible to U.S. weakness too. So, just because they're neighbors and there's a lot of trade that goes on between the two countries here. All right, guys. Well, the only trade I see right now that's a possibility is this guy. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll go from here. So I'm going to log off, and if we do take the trade, I'll let you know. Right now, I mean, it's only 2 pips above the level, and this based on this bar, I'm not that convinced. So let's hold and let's see what happens. All right, guys. Thanks. Aussie yen short here. I think the volume's starting to build up at this level. You can see, and being in the day, I don't think it's got much more to go here. So we were able to get in at 94. We will target down in here at this level. So 72.46. And the stop is going to be just above the tops there. So if it hits if it gets above the tops and closes on a 30-minute, that's when we'll get out here. So the reward to risk is 6.45 to 1. So let's see what happens here, and hopefully we're in the profit here. All right, thanks guys.